Hello and welcome to my Xbox and Me, episode 483. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Mr. Too Fresh Crash.
That's me.
Yes, Crash, that is you.
Wow.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Crash, I've made a big mistake and I've put my news on the wrong monitor, but I now can't move it over because I'm recording the backup for the podcast.
Yeah.
Did you dare me to move it over?
You do whatever makes you happy. I'm not daring you to do anything.
If we need this now, I have absolutely messed it up, and that was all Crash's fault. I want everyone to be confirmed. I'm back over on this side now, Crash. Congrats. And the one and only, he's returned from space. It's Mr. Despawn.
Hi, I'm back. I'm better now.
Well, yeah, what the hell happened? What's your excuse this week, huh?
This week, I've got no excuse this week. I'm fine. I feel great. Last week, I had the excuse that I was very ill, but this week, I'm fine. Too much pizza.
Fine. All right, you're too much. How'd you have you? Do you know what, Crash?
Moving on.
How do you feel about vegetarian pizza, Crash?
Vegetarian pizza?
Yeah.
Like vegan pizza or vegetarian
No,
pizza?
vegetarian.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, if you don't eat pizza with any toppings, wouldn't it still be vegetarian pizza? No.
Cheese pizza is still pizza.
Wait, who doesn't eat pizza with toppings? Crash, are we about to fight? Are we about to fight?
I sometimes do eat pizza with no toppings.
No, yeah, but like, you're not like, hey, Mamma Mia, walk into New York's finest pizza spot. Hey,
I'm going to tell you something. If you go into a spot and you get a slice of pizza with nothing on it and it tastes bad, it tastes bad. You can get toppings and make pizza taste good. This is why your opinion on pizza sucks, Fix. Because all you do is get pizza with toppings. There you go.
Why would I get pizza without toppings?
Because it tastes good.
So just to clarify,
if you say it doesn't taste good without the toppings, you understand what you're saying.
I just want to clarify, Crash, when you class a pizza without toppings, are you just thinking sauce and cheese? Just a cheese pizza?
A cheese pizza.
Yeah, it's a cheese pizza.
Right, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify.
What was you thinking?
Well, that's what I was clarifying, like, because are you like saying that, you know, you're just going in and
just
getting the
dough?
cooked dough? Yeah.
Crash is walking into the finest spot. Let me get a taste of your dough before I'm willing to get a pepperoni on this.
Yeah.
Please.
You know,
to my palate, I must know.
We'll work our way up to the cheese and the sauce, yeah?
Yeah, you got to go step by step, each ingredient.
Yeah. Makes sense. Well, if you didn't know, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast right here on youtube.com/My Xbox and Me and all podcast services. If you want to support us financially, patreon.com/MCFixer. Like I said before, find us everywhere. Make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on Twitch. Little Despawn here did a little live stream. He did. Which we'll be talking about right now. Topic of the show, Despawn. You have played a little video game. It's called Starfield. New expansion is out now. I think fair to say, reviews extremely mixed on this, just as they are on Starfield as a whole. How many hours in are you? Let's break it down. What is going on with this new expansion?
So I'm about, I want to say 4 hours in now. I think rough finish time is about 10 for the entire DLC and all the side quests and stuff like that. It starts off really strong. Like, it is a really good start. And then it drops into your classic Starfield. So if you do not like Starfield right now, you're not going to get anything exciting out of this. So it's very much like the beginning, it very much sets up the premise of it being that more horror-esque vibe that they were going for in all the trailers and stuff like that. Like, you are going around a derelict space station, you're getting attacked by weird enemies, and, you know, it's quite spooky, and it's got a really good vibe to it, and things jump out of nowhere and, like, attack you. Like, that section feels really good. Like, it feels genuinely good. It's unnerving. It's like a lot of really cool exploration around this derelict spaceship. But then after that point, you get, like, it's not a spoiler, it tells you in all the trailers, you get transported to House Faroon's homeworld, where the rest of the DLC takes place. And it's there it kind of falls apart a little bit for me. It very much falls back into just your standard Starfield, which I'm fine with, but it's not what I was expecting from the DLC. It was very much sold like, this is Starfield, the horror version of it, and it's not really that at all. Like, I think I did one of the main missions, which had me go to a base which felt like any other base on any other planet, taking out bad guys that were like any other bad guys on any other planet. So it felt like some of the raiders, those kind of people. And it was basically just work your way through the base and kill everyone in there, which is, fine if that's what you want to play as. But I did get more enjoyment out of some of the side stories. Like, there was one side story I did where a couple of brothers were about to duel to the death, and it's my job to kind of either facilitate that duel or stop them. And how you do that is quite interesting. And I think that is like, leaning into what Bethesda are good at, of like those little moment for moment side quest stories that they're really good at telling. But yeah, I don't think there's enough new here for it to be exciting and for me to jump back into. Like, I got my fill of Starfield. I loved what I played. I really enjoyed it, but yeah, I just don't think there's enough new additions to the game for this. Like, I love what they're telling in the story, and I'm interested to see where it goes when it finishes, but right now, yeah, it just feels like more of the same.
So are you planning on finishing it? Because the consensus right now is the opening strong, the ending is strong, the middle is very much what you expect from Starfield, which is either, for some people, a great game, and for many, many, many others, a complete disaster. So yeah, I will definitely be finishing it. I want to see where that story goes. Like I say, House of Rune is like the Great Serpent story within Starfield is like one of the more interesting things that they teased. So I'm interested to see where it goes. And there are some really good moments that keep popping up in here, but like again, when it leans into the horror aspect of it, like there is a moment where you've got to escape from a cave with all these enemies bouncing out of the walls at you, and it's like it's genuinely like unnerving because you're trying to get out and like not die, and like it is very fast paced. But like outside those little moments, it is very much like just listen to a lot of cutscene story and like, just NPCs talking your ear off and then go into an area and shoot everything and move on. And yeah, like I said, I don't know if there's enough of the story here for me to enjoy it, but like I'm hoping there's more of these little horror moments that keep popping up, because right now there isn't enough for me.
So you might not be able to answer this yet without finishing it, but I'm pretty sure the DLC costs $30 if I'm not mistaken. Do you think that's like charging a little bit too much for what's there so far, or what seems to be there? Or do you think it's still too early to answer that?
I think it's too early for me to answer that. Again, without getting to like the end of it and just seeing like what the overall quality of the content is by the end. I don't know if I can really answer that. I feel like there is a risk of it being a bit too much. Because yeah, I feel like there's nothing outside this home planet that is going to be like have a wider effect on the game, which is what you want. You want like new abilities, new weapons, all that kind of stuff. So far, there's a couple of new weapons, but they're very much in the same scope of all of the weapons that are in there already. So I don't know. I honestly don't feel comfortable answering that just yet. I feel like obviously because I got it as part of the premium edition with me watch and everything, I don't feel like I'm missing out.
That's how they get you though, right? Yes, correct. Chris, you are correct. $30 for this. I think that's how they get you though, right? It is the people that bought the deluxe edition are not really thinking about it because they've already bought it and it's been out for months, and it's a case of like, oh, new opportunity to jump back in. And then there's the players such as like myself, probably, even though I play this. Oh yeah, Code, or did
maybe
I don't remember? Might be Game Pass. Probably Game Pass, right? And this isn't on Game Pass, if I'm correct, right? This isn't a part of the Game Pass bundle.
No.
But if you DLC, no.
Yeah, but you were able to get the deluxe upgrade or the ultimate upgrade for like $30, which is what I did to get early access and stuff like that. You do have the DLC if you did that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So $30. $30 is from I can only go off of what I've heard now from you, Despawn, and what I've read online, right? It's a case of it's not bad. It just isn't the next step in which I think people expected them to go.
Yeah.
And $30 is a lot of money for an expansion that doesn't really do enough, I guess.
Yeah, so when you spend that kind of money on an expansion, you expect something good. Like you're looking at like Witcher Blood and Wine level.
There's our clip.
When you spend that much money, you're looking at something good. Yeah. There you go. No, but you want something, substantial from it. You want a Blood and Wine from Witcher 3, kind of like something that adds, like, it's a must play. This isn't a must play right now for me.
I think so. I've seen comments of people like talking about the length of it, and from my perspective, I haven't played it, so this is just my perspective on DLC in general. Is it just has to be something worth that price point? And from what I'm hearing, like if it was 10 hours and it was straight like narrative and like expanding that world in really interesting ways, I could see it being worth it. But if that middle part is sort of lacking for me, I could see people having issues with that price point of where like you're really only getting like 3 or 4 hours maybe of like solid content, and the rest of it feels like filler content.
Yeah, I think that's my problem right now, is like when those high moments when they lean into the horror of it are really good, but the majority that I've played so far is very much standard Starfield, which I've not done everything in Starfield already. So like, do I want to be doing more side stuff that's just the same? And right now, I'm not sure I am.
So I guess to wrap this up with a nice bow, should people buy this if they're interested in this? Would you suggest people buy it? And then the second question, which you can elaborate on, I guess, is if you've already paid for this, is it worth their time?
So if you are a Starfield fan, like if you are a diehard Starfield fan, not like a Bethesda fan, but a Starfield fan specifically, it's more Starfield. So if you want more Starfield, this is what you're going to get. There are some new additions in like I say with the horror elements and that kind of add that little extra wrinkle to it that make it a bit more interesting, but not enough right now for me to say, yeah, you must play this. If you already own it, then yeah, 100% jump in, like at least to check it out. Specifically for that first section, the first section is a solid piece of gameplay. Like what they've done with that first starship is really good. And some of the extra sections after that are really good. Like it's just solid gameplay. But go into it knowing that the majority of what you're going to get is just more standard Starfield.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Crash, before I wrap up?
Nope.
Okie dokie. All right, well, let's jump into what's been in our box this week then, boys. Crash, we'll start with you. What you been playing? Anything new?
I finished the Metaphor demo, and I played more Like a Dragon. That's about it.
Well, that's okay. Perfect transition. I know Despawn's been playing Metaphor as well. Overall thoughts now that you finished the prelude, 6 hours long, if I'm not mistaken.
I got 6.5 hours. So if you're in a dungeon, you'll get to play until you decide to leave the dungeon, and then it'll cut you off from the demo, I believe. I believe that's the cutting off point. But once I finished it, I got a bit sad that there was no more for me to play, to be honest with you. We had a discussion last week, which was, I can't sit down to play games. And then I sat down to play this, and I was like, I don't want this to end. I just want to keep sitting here and playing this game.
I'm scared for you. Because now I'm going to wait for it to come. Is it going to hit the same? You had this. You was in flow state.
I was in the mood.
In flow state, and you're going to come back and be like, it's fine. When's this come? Next week, right? Next week?
The 11th, so 6 days.
Yeah. Next week. So
yeah, it's almost here.
Eastman, we've not heard your thoughts on the prelude though of Metaphor. Where you at? How you thinking?
So I've only done a couple of hours, like if that. I, without spoiling anything, I got to Crash will know when you first have to enter a cave.
Okay, yeah.
After the first area of like open world, open combat. Yeah. I'm liking it in so much as like as someone who's like, I find it really hard to stick with the Persona games. I feel this has got a bit more of an open feel to it, in so much as like the one thing that does like that I find really hard with Persona games is sticking to that daily grind that it has. So it's like you've got to do certain things in certain days. It doesn't feel as prevalent in this one at the moment.
You aren't at that part yet. You do get towards the end of the demo, you get to like the early stages of that.
Okay.
I will say about the opening though, it is the best Persona type opening, right? Because you kind of go into action and into the heavy bit of the narrative a lot faster, where Persona games usually like, you're a student, you're gonna mess around as a student for a few days before we really let you like take a run at whatever it is.
Which is my favorite part of Persona, by the way.
Yeah.
That's my favorite stuff to do in Persona.
Yeah.
And this sort of like puts you into that like a little bit faster. The narrative picks up right away, and then they don't take long like to get you into the path where you're sort of doing that daily grind. Where with Persona 5, I feel like the point I'm at in this game, I would still be in sort of that intro section where it's a lot of dialogue, not a whole lot of combat, not a whole lot of choices being made.
Yeah, this does this stick with me on this one, but it very much feels like
here we go.
yeah. So this feels like Atlas's version of the Skyrim opening. It very much is you coming into the town in a tray and on a crate, and then you're straight into combat. But like they do a really good job of like setting up their own
Skyrim
story.
opening is not that. I don't know what Skyrim you played.
You wake up on a
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for?
You wake up on a cart.
You
walk there for half an hour. You drive there for half an hour with dumb dialogue. Then you sit out a character creator, the dragonfly. I hate that opening. You might be correct. I'm biased against that opening. I hate it. I despise that opening.
That's fair. That's it. But it feels like it takes a little, like, it doesn't take that long in my eyes anyway to get into like some epic combat in Skyrim because, you know, big dragon within the first scene. It very much feels like that for this compared to what you would get with, like I say, a Persona. Yeah. It's very much a case of you have 5 minutes of cutscenes explaining what's going on in the world, and then you are running around in the open world avoiding enemies. And it's quite cool. But yeah, no, I'm liking it so far. I like the combination of the kind of, it's not all just turn-based combat. It's very much like if you are, it's similar to the way that Like a Dragon does it, where it's like if they are a low enough level, you can just press a button and spam your way through it.
Yeah. I like the way they combine like overworld combat with like the turn-based combat. Yeah. I feel like it adds a variety in your approach to it and who you want to target and stuff like that is missing from past Persona games. Well, this isn't a Persona game, but it adds like a little bit more agency to the player. I feel like in general this game does a very good job of giving the player agency a lot faster.
Yeah, like definitely, and I do like the way that the combat works. Again, it's turn based, but it feels really good. The art style that they're going for is very over the top for like the button prompts and things like that. And yeah, no, it looks beautiful. And honestly, cutscenes, like it's an Atlas game. They do good cutscenes, you know that. This feels like, I feel like this is a step up from what Persona do. I think, if they just made this an anime, which I'm sure they will at some point, like I'd watch that 100%.
Okay, you sold it to me. I'm finally downloading the prelude. So
yeah,
I will check this out. I forgot it's on Game Pass as well. So
no, this is not on Game Pass.
Nope.
I don't think this is on Game Pass.
I did check
they
that
announced
myself.
Persona 3 on Game Pass. Xbox has marketing for this. It's not on Game Pass though.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll play the prelude and then I won't play it again then. Yeah. We'll see. I
will say, one last thing I want to say. Like, how, like, Crash can confirm this or not, how hard does that battle music go?
Oh, it's the Persona music's always fantastic, but the battle music's fantastic. Yeah,
with the chanting in the background of it, it's just like, what is going on? I love it. It's a bop. Like, go listen to it if you've not heard it. It's amazing.
I guess we're gonna have to stop saying Persona, right? We're gonna have to start saying Atlas music is a bop, Atlas combat is a bop, Atlas. Because I think this is gonna pan out again, just from what you're saying, what I'm seeing online, people are loving this. It seems like Atlas are in a very good place right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think a lot of their like decision making for like game design also just like shines and is shown. Like it's not just Persona, it's just good. Like the dedication to making UI, because they've talked about how like they pay their UI designers a very high fee because that's a big part of their games. And in every game, be it the Persona 3 remaster, or this or Persona 5, like the UI is always one of the things that draws people in, and some people are like, I only played it because I saw the UI, I saw the start screen, and it looked fantastic. So clearly there's something in what they do outside of just the gameplay, which the gameplay is fantastic, that is very rewarding to a player, which is dope to see.
Yeah, stylistically, it's like just their games are some of the most beautiful like to look at. And yeah, like I say, the combat is a ton of fun. I don't know how I feel about the name still. Like to this point, like Metaphor Fantasio is like,
I don't like the name.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think it'll just kind of go off your back after a while. But it's just like right now, it's just like it's a lot to say. Unless this is going to be like a new series.
I think it's going to be
like a new the series is Metaphor.
Yeah, that's why
I could see them doing it.
Right?
I could see them doing it. So I think once the sequel comes in, it's like, okay, these are Metaphor games. Cool, fine. And I think realistically, I think we're in a day and age where it makes more sense not to do numbered titles. Mm-hmm. I think going into numbered games is kind of weird if it's not a direct sequel. I agree with you, but if they see this franchise lasting as a long time, by the time you get to 3 or 4, that number title isn't as much of a boon to the game. Like, look at Final Fantasy. One of the struggles Final Fantasy has is they're on Final Fantasy 16, and people are like, I have to play 15 other Final Fantasy games. I'm not jumping in.
Yeah, no, that is yeah. I agree. I can't even fight my battle on that one. I can't. That's the perfect argument. To be honest with you, it's very similar to Resident Evil. We're at that point now where 9 games in, and they tried to have their reset with like Village being not 8, and we're like, yeah, you ain't fooling no one. You ain't fooling nobody. They're trying, but you ain't fooling no one. But yeah. Despawn, what else have you been playing there? Actually, do you know what, Crash? Before we get to Despawn, sorry.
Yeah.
I want to hear the update on Like a Dragon.
I'm chapter 11, I think. Either at end of chapter 10 or beginning of chapter 11. I'm really liking it. I'm enjoying it. I will say I stopped to play ReFantazio, and that was a mistake.
Yes, it was.
Because going back to it was a little bit difficult.
Of course.
And so now I know I'm on a clock and I need to beat it by the 11th. Similar to the game itself when they give you a time and you have to do something. I'm like that in real life. Yeah, so I'm sort of trying to power through that at this point. I really like it. I think the story is amazing. I think the sentiment I had from last week or the last time I talked about it, I carry it on. I do think I finished one of the characters' drink links, and you get the little ending to the story, and I thought that was cool. Yeah. And I think everything they do around that game, like, it feels satisfying. Like, you don't do a lot of stuff in that game and are left feeling unsatisfying. I think the only thing I've done in the game where I felt like that was the island thing. I hate the island.
Yeah, that's very
divisive.
Divisive, thank you.
Which I could see. I could see that.
I hated it as well. I literally got the bare minimum, done what I needed.
Yeah.
And I made enough money to go and buy stuff in the real world. And I was like, I'm done with this. No, thank you.
That was the only part where I was like, because they force you to do like 3 days on that island. I was like, I might stop playing this game right now because of that, because I really didn't enjoy that. Other than that, like, I think everything is super enjoyable in the game.
Fair enough. Despawn, what else have you been playing?
I actually jumped into a couple of games today, and oh god, I found a new obsession.
No.
Yeah. So first one was Sifu, because that's just got added to Game Pass. So I'd never played it before. So this was like my first experience. I heard it was like super hard and all that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed this. Like, for what it is, like, I think I got through. I just played it on the easy mode just to kind of see what it was like. The easy mode is still not that easy, but. I think I did the entire first run of the story, because this game is built for repeated runs, in about 2 or 3 hours. But yeah, loved it every bit. The combat is amazing.
Best fighting game of 2023, right, Crash?
Fuck you. I'm not entertaining that. Not even for the joke, not even for the meme. I'm not entertaining it.
Sorry, couldn't help it.
I mean, all jokes aside, the fighting in it is really good.
It's not a fighting game, though. I agree with you. The fighting's fantastic.
Yeah. But I
Next
know
thing you're going to tell me is Devil May Cry is a fighting game.
No, God, no. That's a hack and slash. We know that. Yeah, no, it's good though.
Game.
Like
it's an action
it's
game.
An
it's an action adventure game. All right.
Yeah,
Let's stay within the confines of actual categories. All right. I get hack and slash subgenre. Like rap, hip hop, but Game Awards out here, people. Game Awards.
Okay,
2023 best fighting game. Never forget.
Never will. Honestly, I'd have voted for it. Mainly just to piss off Crash. But no, I'm really enjoying it. I want to go back and do some other runs. They've got an arena mode in there as well, which I think they added after the fact. I don't know. But yeah, like that's really fun. So it's very much that kind of roguelike kind of like try and get through a certain amount of waves and not die at a certain amount of times and all that kind of stuff. And you can do modifiers and unlock all these different kind of like changes to the way that the combat plays. So it's quite fun. I do want to go back and I'll spend some more time in it. But the other one, which is now my new obsession, is Core Keeper, which again got added to
I've got it.
Game Pass.
Can I be honest? I've been wanting to play this and I've been waiting for all of us.
So I've been waiting as well.
I'm in. I am 100%.
You already played it.
I literally waited.
No, but
I've had the game. The developer actually reached out to me and gave me a copy while I was on holiday, and I was like, "I promise you, I'll play this, but I'm waiting for the boys." I knew Crash had it, and I didn't know you was interested. So interesting.
Well, I didn't know. Like, I was literally just sat here because I was waiting for us to record today, and I was like, I'll check. You know what? I've heard good things
So
about
you started
this.
it today.
Yeah, literally today.
Oh, okay.
So
How many hours? How many
so you're
hours
not
did you
deep.
are?
like an hour. I've done.
Oh, okay, I can live with that. Yeah, I can live with that.
Okay. I forgive you. I forgive your transgressions.
Thank you. I mean, I'll play more of it on my own, but yeah, I will 100. But there's a single player mode and an online mode as well. So you can you can play them separately. But so yeah, I'm 100% down for squadding up on this. Like, I'm having so much fun. It is very much my kind of game. It's your Terraria, Minecraft, dungeon crawler, lots of crafting, lots of weapon upgrades and abilities that you can get. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I love the art style. I love a good like pixel art kind of game. Automatically gets an extra point from me just for looking nice. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the look of this one, and yeah, I could see me putting a lot of time into it.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about that game.
Like I played it. I think it was an EGX. Like I want to say the first one after COVID. And yeah, I got to play the demo there before it dropped, and yeah, I enjoyed it at the time, but it just completely dropped off my radar. And then every now and again I hear someone talking about it, and now that it's on Game Pass, I thought I'll give it a go. And yeah, no, I can see why everyone loves it so much.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this one as well, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm in. What have I been playing? I played a little game called X Defiant. You may have heard of it. # not sponsored. Still addicted. Season 2 is out now. Came out 2 weeks ago. Forgot to talk about it 2 weeks ago. I've already beat the battle pass, and I'm kind of done with the game now.
Going well.
Look, they've added. Well, they added a new map. They added a new mode. So they obviously added the new waterfront map. They added a new mode, which is bomb, which is search and destroy. They're both fun. The issue is, it just, again, I know I play games very differently to most people, and I now, thanks to the My Xbox and Me community for confirming that for me. Shout out to everyone who did put in the podcast discussion in the Discord and told us like age and how much people play. The consensus was probably about 2 to 3 hours for most people. I think, there's obviously the outliers there, but 2 to 3 hours is like a normal game session for most people. So, yeah, but I think for me, obviously, I'm streaming it Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. After 2 weeks straight of doing that, there's just not much to do other than to grind out weapon skins. And I've never been someone that weapon skin grinds. It's just, I've never done it in Call of Duty. I've never done it in Battlefield, anything like that. I've just never, ever, ever has it interested me. It's weird though, because there's such a small player pool on X Defiant, and that's the truth, there is. I've got pretty good at the game. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm when I'm not playing with like my normal squad who are like amazing at the game, if I'm not playing with them, I'm usually top of the leaderboard every single match. So I've got pretty good at the game. So it's one of those ones where it's like, it's hard to come away from a game that you're good at and you're enjoying. And business wise, like I'm probably one of the top EU X-Defiant players right now, like, which is crazy. When they go live on there, I'm averaging over 100. That category has like 1,000 people watching it. So if you understand Twitch metrics, 100 in a category that big usually puts me on either line 1 or line 2, which is pretty good outside of the 24-hour channels that are just there for drops. So so I'm enjoying it. I do like X-Defiant a lot. I'm kind of sad that it's gonna die. And I do think it is gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, if it hasn't got people in now, what is it gonna take to get people in? Like, I just don't know. Call of Duty is coming. Like, as soon as Call of Duty drops, I think even the few people that are on X-Defiant right now, they're just gonna go play COD.
They're gonna migrate. Yeah.
Do you think that a game that tries to compete with Call of Duty being a live service game is a hindrance for it? Because what popped into my mind is Battlefield, and the reason Battlefield was able to compete with Call of Duty is they released a new one every year back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So every year they had a new competitor to Call of Duty. Where X-Defiant, now that you mentioned that, like, in a year from now, you're not getting an X-Defiant 2. It's still going to be X-Defiant 1 with new updates.
Yeah, I think the issue is, Crash, I think it's a case of if you release, it's all about how you release, right? And obviously, Notorious, we spoke about it last week. We're going to talk about it this week about Ubisoft. Ubisoft are just not in a great place amongst players. Like, the business side of things, I don't know the ins and outs. But amongst the internet people, on Twitter, amongst the games industry, people are very quick to shit on them. And I think X-Defiant got labeled as the COD killer by a community of people, not by Ubisoft. Ubisoft never came out and said that. And now it's kind of become a joke. But the thing that's most frustrating about it is it's actually a good game. Free to play, plays just as good as old school Call of Duty. Again, I can't talk about Omni Movement or anything in the new COD. I've not played it yet. But just as good. It has all of those tactile feels. The issues that are there are obviously netcode has got a bit of an issue at the moment. There's a lot of trading and stuff like that. I'm getting nitty gritty with it for people who don't even give a crap, so I won't carry on. But there are issues with the game, but nothing that can't be fixed. I just don't see where they're going to get that big influx of players, Crash. That's the big issue I have with it. Is I don't know where that's... If Search and Destroy hasn't done it, if new maps hasn't done it, if a battle pass hasn't done it, a new faction, the Highwaymen, thank you, hasn't done it, what else can they do? They can keep supporting the game, and I think they will. Ubisoft they're notorious for supporting games, but this is the first one that hasn't had a $60 price point slapped on it at the start and has died off this quickly. You know?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I feel like you could have said the same thing about Rainbow Six Siege back in the day. Like, what'll draw in new players, no?
Rainbow Six, at least we pay $60 for it. So it has that. I feel like when you pay... I remember the day I bought Rainbow Six. I remember. I bought the game, I put it in, I play it, and I say, absolutely not, this game sucks. Hate it. And we all know the state Rainbow Six launched and it wasn't great, right? But ultimately, I still have it. I have it there. I have a physical copy. I have the shame of the $60 in front of me. So when an update comes out, I go, well, I did pay $60 for this.
Should at least check it out.
Let me try it now.
Yeah.
Where with a free-to-play game like this, live service, like you're saying, there is no barrier to entry, which is great when something is successful. But when it's not successful, I think the lack of barrier to entry then holds no weight, right? Because you're like, well, I have nothing invested in this other than, skins and things like that if you put money into the game. And I think that's the issue. It's a great thing when it's successful. It's a terrible thing when it's not. Yeah. And I think that's the issue. Not one of the big content creators latched onto it. Nobody. Like, there isn't, again, I know most of my life is based off of Twitch metrics and YouTube metrics and content creation and things like that, right? But like, usually there's one content creator that's like, I'm going to jump on this. I'm going to be that guy.
Is X-Defiant on Steam?
No. And I think that's the biggest issue, Crash. Thank you for bringing it up. I think that they need to get this game to Steam as soon as humanly possible.
Do you think that possibly gives like a boost that you would need for the game? If you were Ubisoft and
I'm
you're
Mr.
more
Ubisoft.
familiar with the game, you're Mr. Ubisoft.
Alright.
Do you wait until a little bit after Call of Duty releases to do the Steam release, or do you do that before Call of Duty comes out?
No, after.
Yeah.
After, right?
I'd probably do it like a month after. Let Call of Duty come out. Let them have. Sorry, Desmond, please go.
I was gonna say I'd do it like midway through the season when all the hardcores have grinded out the battle pass, and like you say, they're just doing camo skins. Say all right, now here's this free to play game that's you've not played it. There's a ton of content we've already done like 2 seasons of. It's free to play and it's now on Steam. Jump in now, give it a go. You'll see people move over because, again, while you're Mr. Ubisoft, I'm Mr. Ubisoft mod, and 9 times out of 10, the thing you see the things in chat is like, is this on Steam? Is this on Steam?
Yeah,
and it's just like they've got to see that. Like they've got to see.
They have, right? They've made this. We've already spoke about it last week, but like all their games are now coming to Steam day one. So it's not like they haven't seen that. Obviously, lackluster sales in other areas of games are probably pushed that sooner than they would have liked. But yeah, Steam I think will be huge for it. I just don't know if it's going to be enough, Crash, if I'm honest.
Okay. Well, so, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know if like a big crossover could help as well. Like,
I think it'd have to be a non-Ubisoft crossover if they did it. I don't.
No, I mean more skin wise though. That's what I mean. Like, I get what
you're. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying it can't. I don't think an in-house Ubisoft crossover would help.
Even
that much,
though, bro. There's no Assassin's Creed skin. There's not for a game that is based on all Ubisoft properties, right? Like the Highwaymen, and there's no Far Cry skin that's like iconically Far Cry. There's no Assassin's Creed skin that's like. Do you know what I mean? Like the skins are very
running around.
Yeah, you don't see Pagan men.
Yeah, you don't see exactly. Like it just doesn't have that. And I'm not saying that would make the game blow up at all, because I don't think it would. But even Riders has that. Like Riders has the Assassin's Creed skin in it, and yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me because I really love the game, like a lot. I've had a lot of fun with it, from hating the game and being like, I suck at this. Oh my God, I'm never playing this game again. To like, obviously playing it for my job, to then playing it on my own channel consistently, and then building the community that I've built with a few people. It's just, it's heartbreaking, but I guess it is what it is. So that, and then Crash, you heard me speak about it last week. I played some EAFC. It's in the game. Don't think they say that anymore. EAFC. I played it yesterday. I streamed it, and I played clubs. So for those who don't know what clubs is, pro clubs is the mode where you control one player. So each person controls one player, plays their position, etc., etc. I played it with the Ice Cream Upload boys. I had so much fun. You know, after last week of saying how much I think this game's a copy and paste job and don't buy it and blah, 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 all of that still stands. Okay.
but pro clubs is fine.
But pro clubs, they've actually put a little bit of effort into it. So they've made like some really good changes to the pro clubs mode now. So you set up your club pretty much, and then there's like a level of like progression. So you earn money in the game that then you can buy new coaches, you build up your stadium, you build up your fan base. I checked out the new rush mode, which is 5-on-5. That was pretty fun. Very quick pace, jump in, jump out. Yeah, really had a good time with it.
So for people who only play pro clubs mode, and I assume there's people like that.
I'm sure.
I don't. Would you even for them you'd say don't buy it still, even though the pro club mode you liked it? Or for them is that like an exception where you're like, if you really like pro club mode and that's all you play when you play it,
the game's broke,
still
bro.
no.
I still got called offside multiple times when I wasn't offside, and we're through on goal in the 90th minute and the referee blows up again, which doesn't happen in real life. And there's still too many issues with the game for me to sit here and be like, yeah, man, buy it. So, and that's coming from me, who I didn't get my code from EA. I bought the game, £100, paid my money. So yeah, just putting that out there. Okay. Yeah, that's it for this week's what's been in our box. Let's jump into this week's dashboard. As we were talking about Ubisoft, let's start with them, shall we? Ubisoft could be being sold, Crash. and maybe considering purchasing them is a company we all know of. It is the powerhouse, the Chinese powerhouse, Tencent. Based off the little information we have, and again, all based on speculation and rumors, so take it all with a pinch of salt. Ubisoft share prices have obviously plummeted over the last few months, which we all know. Actually, don't know if you guys saw this or not, actually went back up this week, closed. Yeah, they, again,
Not
yes,
surprising.
I am very much invested in Ubisoft stock price due to my job. And I will openly admit that. No, I do not own any stock in Ubisoft. I've always said I will never buy stock in a video game company while I'm a influencer, because I think that could, no matter how small amount of influence I may have, I don't think that's correct and right to do. So just full transparency there. You can check my Trading 212 account whenever you would like. But yeah, there was a rumor that they might be buying Blooper. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't. Oh, interesting.
I don't know where this rumor's come from, but the stock price flew back up. So it's gone from, again, flew back up. It's gone from, it was at 20, I think it was at 20, dropped down to 10. It's now sitting at about 14, almost $15 a share. So it's almost recovered 50% from what it dropped. So again, that's the information we're going off of for the stock prices. But the rumor out there right now is that NetEase is considering teaming up with the Gelmont family to reacquire Ubisoft, which would then be taking it from a publicly traded company to a private company again. How do you feel about this, Despawn? Hit me.
I was just going to say it's Tencent, not NetEase.
Oh, Tencent is what I meant. Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
It's an interesting one, right? Because Tencent are buying everyone, and I think
I don't hear no monopoly talk.
Yeah, and it's a weird one because we've come out of the other side of it, and we've seen the damage that can do. And it's like, for all intents and purposes, like, I really enjoy Ubisoft games. I don't want to see Ubisoft go. So, like, what would happen if Tencent took over?
What companies has Tencent bought recently? Out of curiosity, because I know the company that I think of is the company that bought like Saints Row and stuff like that, and they've had like a shit show with everything they've bought.
They're gone. They don't even exist anymore.
Is that THQ or whatever they were?
That was Embracer Group, I think.
Embracer, right? Yeah.
Embracer Group, yeah.
So Embracer Groups are still a thing, but we talked about it a couple of months back. They basically split themselves into three.
Yeah, I do remember that conversation actually. Three different companies, and yeah, I do remember that. Look, I'll give you the honest and raw conversation that I've had in my own home. Obviously, with this, ultimately, this could affect me. You know, after we hear all of these conversations about layoffs and things like that, this is finally a time where this could actually affect myself. I'm double folded on this, right? So, number one, I don't want anything to change. I love my job. I love being a freelance host for Ubisoft and doing all the cool stuff that I get to do, live streaming and hosting things like the Skull and Bones thing and stuff like that. I don't want anything to change. But in the same breath, the company needs to change for them to keep making money and to still be around for the bigger future, right? So I kind of want it to happen, but I kind of want it to happen, which is like, hey, let's buy this back and leave it alone. Like, don't get me wrong, go in and make better games and, make the changes that we want to see in their video games and things like that. But like, I'm so scared for not only myself, but my friends who work at Ubisoft now. Yeah. I'm looking at, like, as I go in and I look at the marketing department and, the financial department and people like that. And I'm like, holy shit, this could be, as we keep talking about it, and we talk about it on a very human level, I think, but it is very easy for us to sit here and read off a piece of paper, 8,000 jobs gone. When it is, I walk into the office, let's say I got kept to do a freelance hosting role, right? And I come in and I'm using fake names, but Margaret's not sat in her seat and Jimmy's not sat in his seat. And you're like,
not Jimmy.
Huh. Fake names. But I know. That does scare me. That does scare me a lot when it comes to this.
Yeah, there's a personal connection there that it's easy to distance yourself when it's like you say, when we're reading stats and figures, but when you put that human element to it, which again is something I always try to keep in mind anyway, but when you have that direct connection to it and like you see those people, it can have a bit of an effect. It's weird. So like for those that don't know, obviously Tencent already bought like stock of Ubisoft already.
Yes.
Like they own
10%, I think.
Well, I think from what I understand, I think it went up to like 20%, but they have a 4% voting right, like as part of that deal. So they only get.
So they don't have the full.
So they don't
power.
have they don't have a 20% voting like shares. I think they own like But so I mean, because I think it was Vivendi was the company that were previously trying to buy Ubisoft, and it was like that was a very hostile takeover attempt, and I think that's when Tencent stepped in.
said no.
Yeah,
he said no.
Yeah, and I think it was around that time that I think obviously Tencent stepped in and they did that deal to kind of keep the Guillemets in charge. So yeah, I mean, we get it, right? Like companies, like they need to do something to survive. And like you say, when you have one game that didn't do the market share they wanted in Outlaws, and then now you've delayed like your biggest franchise out of the financial year, possibly
out of the holiday season.
Well, the holiday season, it's like there's got to be some talk around this. I'm hoping it doesn't change too much for them. I'm hoping they can kind of outlast this kind of next few months, get those Steam releases coming, finally get Shadows to the point they want it to be and get it out the door, and it actually is everything we want from a feudal Japan era Assassin's Creed. Like this is the dream Assassin's Creed, right?
Let me ask you something. Go on, sorry, please go on, Craig.
You asked what you're gonna ask. Mine's a little bit.
Okay. Do you think even if Assassin's Creed Shadows is good, the industry's still gonna shit on it? Because I have a really bad feeling that it could be a 10 out of 10 game and people aren't gonna give it 9s. Like just because of the feeling around Ubisoft right now. I'm not saying it's going to be 10 out of 10s. I'm not saying I've not played it. I don't know. I've seen what I've seen. Obviously, you know what I mean. But I don't know. It hasn't got that like love. You know what we always say about like Nintendo games come out and it's like it might be an 8, but it got a 9. Like is Ubisoft in that weird spot now, like Xbox is, and we spoke about this last week, right? Where like a game comes out and it might not get the same reception that it should. Again, Assassin's Creed, that you got to remember, Valhalla made over 1 billion in 2020. Yeah. 1 billion, 20 million players. Like Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed. It's a very different franchise from a Star Wars game that reviewed okay. So yeah, I don't know. Go on. What was you gonna say, Crash?
I was just gonna say, I think if you're looking at this as a whole, we don't know what type of deal Tencent would have with the Guillemot family if they purchase them, right? Because it says they're going to enter a partnership. We don't know the scope of that partnership, right? It could just be taking the games off of, like, so that they're not a publicly traded company, which
that's what the rumor is.
I think subverts one of Ubisoft's biggest issues, which is the board. The board, the reason games come out in buggy states, the reason the games come out at such fast pace, a lot of the decision that happens to appeal to the board of investors. Yeah. And I think this is a potential fix. I don't know if it's the right fix. I'm not going to say that because I don't know how it'll affect it, but it is a potential fix to what I think is probably one of Ubisoft's biggest issues, in my opinion.
I think
most companies.
I'm going to say I think it's one of gaming's biggest issues. I think when you put a financial time limit on releasing a creative endeavor, it's like something's got to give. And yeah, like you said, it like maybe taking them private is the way to do it when all they have to worry about is, making enough money to pay their staff and, give out those bonuses at the end of the year. It's like they don't have to kind of appease a share price anymore. Maybe that is the way to go.
I don't know. I don't know stocks and stuff like that, right? But what happens if you do? If I bought stock, if you buy stocks in Ubisoft tomorrow, right, and then they get bought out, how does that work? Like,
I think you get paid. So the way I understand it, and they're a French company, so I don't know exactly how stocks from different countries work, but I believe that they can set a value that like they evaluate what the company's worth, what each share is worth, and then they pay out that value.
Yep. So if you own one share at $14, how much would you make?
$14.
You just get the $14 back.
Yeah.
It's rubbish. I can't even tell people to invest now. Like, this is not financial advice.
No, but you should definitely buy stocks in My Xbox and Me.
We're going public, baby.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/MCPix. We don't even call it My Xbox and Me. God damn it.
So it basically would be, shareholders would be. We saw it like in another thing with Twitter, like where they sold their stocks to Elon, he bought the entire company, and he basically just paid out the shareholders for whatever stocks they're worth. Basically the market will tell you the valuation of each share, and that basically, and then obviously any extra fees on top of that. And basically, if you own shares and agree to it, then you'll basically get that amount of money for your share.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. Sticking on the Ubisoft train, a little bit more positive news though, thank God. Assassin's Creed Shadows apparently rumored there could be a co-op mode in development. Not too much to go off of on this one. And again, it's not been reported on by any of the big outlets yet. This one was taken from InsideGamer.com. But the rumor is that there is a co-op mode in development, which is scheduled to be post-launch content. Alongside that as well is another Ubisoft game that's been apparently leaked. There's a new code name for, I believe it's called League, which is a new Assassin's Creed title down the line, which is going to be akin to a Black Flag type game.
Okay.
So, yeah, again, it's an interesting one, right? Obviously, we know we've got Hex. We know, obviously, Black Flag. There's a lot going on with the Assassin's Creed franchise. Obviously, we know we've got that hub coming eventually, or maybe they'll stop that now. Maybe with everything that's been going on, I don't know. They did speak about the hub during the Assassin's Creed showcase thing that they did eventually, right? Are you guys interested in, number one, we'll start with a co-op mode. Assassin's Creed co-op mode, does that interest you? It does.
Yeah.
I think for me, looking back at Unity, I think the co-op mode was probably one of my favorite things. I don't think it was fantastic in Unity. I think it could have been a lot better, but I think it was a great first iteration. And I feel like Assassin's Creed, with the way the game works, is set up to potentially work with a co-op mode of people stealthing around in different ways and all that sort of stuff. So I think that excites me. I think the idea of playing a co-op Assassin's Creed with somebody is very dope.
Yeah, I think especially with it being Shadows, I think that leans really well into having like a co-op mode. Like I've just got this image of you being the Yasuke walking through and battering a few people while I forgot her name already. Is it Noe?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Forgive me. Put it in the comments. Let me know how much I butchered that. But having her like jumping across the rooftops, taking out people as you're walking through, like the pavilion or whatever it is, and just like I think that would be just a cool moment. And I'd be interested to see will Assassin's Creed go back to like having multiplayer and co-op, like because they've not done it since Unity. Anyone who ever played like the original series games, I say like the Ezio trilogy and things like that, and that multiplayer mode that they had in there was some genuine fun times. So I would love to see more co-op and like you say multiplayer, and get something that brings a bit more longevity into that series, because right now it is very much a case of finish the story and you're done.
I disagree with you.
They put out a lot of content post-launch.
They do like the mission, the time mission stuff. They always come out with a bunch of expansions.
As far as single players getting as close to a live service game as possible, I think Ubisoft's kind of nailed it.
Okay, I take it back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I still would love to see it go back to like you say and having that like. Because there's nothing quite like that co-op experience of like, being an assassin would be cool. Yeah, no, I want that.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure. I didn't like Unity. I didn't like Unity's co-op. Assassin's Creed for me is a single player game, but if they can do it right, I do agree with you. The whole idea of like the two different play styles being very much like stealth and like got all out. I do like the idea of like we don't have to compromise on either of our play styles. You can keep doing what you're doing. I can do what I am doing. Hard to say without playing the game itself, though, right? Because again, I'm just like, okay, I need to see how this would work in action. But
yeah, I'd be interested
in the right
to
direction if it is there. Not a launch though. So how do you feel about that? Like, are you really gonna want to go back and play this game in co-op?
Depends
if it's good.
Yeah,
I think that completely depends on the quality of the game.
Yeah. It depends on the quality of the original game as you played it yourself. And I think it depends on the person you're playing it. Like, no, all jokes aside, like I would love to run with you, Fix, of like me doing the full stealth run and you being Mr. No stealth whatsoever. Like, I think that would be, I think there'd be a lot of fun to be had there. So yeah, no, I'd be down to go back.
Where are you? I need help.
I'm stealthing along the rooftops. Shush.
Help me! Yeah, no, I get you. All right, moving on. This one comes from Windows Central and says, we want to release it on Xbox, which they are talking about. Final Fantasy 16 finally coming to Xbox. This was with an interview of, I got this, Crash. Nakoti Yoshida.
So close. So close.
How'd I do?
Not Nakoti.
Naoki. It don't work, bro. I'm dyslexic. We have to do phonetics, and it doesn't work like that with these Japanese names. I believe Japanese.
Phonetically, it works. For Japanese, it works phonetically. You can't say that it doesn't phonetically work.
Naoki.
Yeah. Naoki. Yeah, but that's not how my brain works.
I understand that, but there's still a little bit of incorrect statement to say that it doesn't phonetically work.
Yeah,
it does phonetically work. I'm just an idiot. Anyway, emphasizes that Square Enix is planning to move its flagship titles like Final Fantasy 16 to Xbox as well, although it seems more like a inspirational plan right now. Yeah, I said that correctly. Given the firm's growing pains as it moves towards multi-platform game development. Quote, of course, we did announce the PC version of the game, so looking forwards to the Xbox version. We do want to release it on Xbox, but when it comes to a specifics such as when the game will be available and such, we are not in a position to be able to share anything. But of course, I want to say that it's not if there's zero hope, and we very much want to achieve that. So players should not give up in terms of their hopes. Chris, you want my hypotheses?
Hit me with it.
This is already in the works. Again, this has been in the works for a while now. Obviously, we know Xbox. We know Phil Spencer and Sarah Boyd at Tokyo Game Show. We know that they visited Square Enix along with Koei Tecmo and a few other companies. I think they were going to check on the build for it. And I think this comes beginning of next
holiday
year.
Season?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, beginning of next year. I would love it to come holiday season. It would fill some gaps in Xbox's market, if we're being honest, of what's not available because of delays and things. We've got what you're putting faces to these, but what have we got?
I'm trying to think. Valve got pushed. COD, Indie.
We got COD, Indie, Flight Sim, Stalker.
This year, yeah.
That's all the holiday season for the most part as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
COD this month.
Okay.
Flight Sim next month.
Wow.
Indie.
I don't know why I thought COD was November.
You better get to it.
Okay.
COD the 25th. Wait. Yeah, it is 25th.
We'll look at it. Do you want me to look up the dates while you guys discuss?
I'm almost certain I'm right. The 25th or the 10th. And then you've got Flight Sim that's coming the 19th. Yeah.
25th October, yeah.
Flight Sim coming the 19th. And then Stalker 2 comes the 20th. Two different, things. And then we got December. We got Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
what day do we know what day Indiana Jones comes out?
9th.
9th. Does that hit the cutoff for
Yeah,
Game of the Year?
oh god, I ain't got a clue.
TJ's.
I ain't got a clue.
Interesting.
I don't even know why we release
think it misses
games
it
in December, bro. I really think it's the worst time to release a game.
Yeah. Because I think it misses it, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably better for Xbox, bro. If I'm honest,
so?
Like if it's good and then it gets snubbed, at least it can be the.
It becomes a conversation point.
We know we released a great game. It got 10 out of 10s. Oh my god! If it comes out and it is good, it's like Indiana Jones should be Game of the Year. I can't believe it's not.
It adds.
Jeff Keighley's messed up again. Like, I think the Keighley's might even be before that. Actually, I think it's the 5th, isn't it?
Game Awards 2024. Let me look. I'll look it up while you guys.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I'm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, but you got to remember.
Because I think they ended somewhere in November.
Oh, you're right.
The cutoff of votes is going to be a lot earlier because they'll do industry votes and then public votes on top of that.
Can we all agree we hate the public vote? I hate the public vote.
I'm going to say I don't think it has that much of an effect on the.
It doesn't, and that's why I think it's dumb.
Yeah,
it's a marketing stunt. Yeah, it's a marketing stunt.
Oh, absolutely. Come to our website. Give us your data.
Yeah, come to our website. Give us your data. Be invested in the results.
Yeah,
show up on the day.
Yeah. But we'll be doing a watch along for the Game Awards, of course. It's a killer every time, but we will absolutely be doing it. It'd be my first one in this house, so it actually be all right for me. Usually I have to sit in the living room. I was doing it in the living room. In those uncomfortable chairs, and I'm there like half asleep in a chair, slumped over at a dinner table. Yeah, I should be all right now. Should be all right. I can even stand with this one. You know, we can do all different things.
I'm gonna say I might get the sofa set up sorted for it, but that's so I could just sit on the sofa and watch it.
I would love that. Chris, you ever thought about putting a sofa up where you were at?
Yeah, I want to put one like right behind me in front of the TV.
Nice.
Yeah. Can we get some nerd stuff back there?
Yeah, but I'm gonna be moving my setup.
I don't like this.
So you won't be seeing that view anymore.
I don't like change.
Hey, where are you moving it? Yeah, I don't like change either.
I'm gonna move it to the left over here.
Okay.
We got room over there?
Yeah.
What's the natural light source like?
What?
What's the natural light source like?
I have a window right above me right there.
Okay, cool.
What light have you got on?
I have two lights. Why?
Because your lighting seems better, but I'm still confused.
I moved my lighting from where it used to be. I have like one of my lights directly on my desk now, where I had it like a little bit further away.
Makes sense.
Looking good.
Anyway, moving on. Let's talk a little bit more Final Fantasy before we move on to our last story. Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters has rose through the Xbox store, showing Xbox players they do love RPGs. This again was taken from Windows Central. Any of you guys checked this out yet? Square Enix actually reached out to me and asked me if I wanted a code for this, and I said I do, but I ain't got time to play it right now. So. Yeah. And that code now hasn't come through my inbox yet.
Not a chance to check it out yet. It is on my backlog because it's Final Fantasy and I love Final Fantasy. But yeah, no. Specifically, I want a chance to sit down and play 6 again.
That's the only one that looks interesting to me.
I'll be honest. Like, no lie. Like 6 is canonically one of the best RPGs ever. So yeah, definitely worth getting into just for that. But yeah, no, I want to run through there is a point like when we finally, if we ever hit a dry spell in gaming, in 2027, I am 100. When I retire,
the whole industry crashes, that's like the year that the industry crashes. That's when you're like, that's the year I'm tackling my backlog.
I mean, all jokes, isn't this year the year that is crashing?
Bro, I've not even been able to do a Resident Evil playthrough in years lately because I just don't have time.
There's no time yet. But no, I do want to do a full Final Fantasy playthrough, like from 1 onwards.
All of them?
Not 14 or 11. Just saying. Not playing those.
I'd like to play 6, 6, 7, 10.
6, 7, and
I've
10.
heard 9's really good as well.
9 is amazing.
I've heard good things about 9 and 8, to be honest with you.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, 8. Yeah, 8's fantastic as well.
I'll be honest, like 6 onwards to like 13. Well, all right, to 12 is great.
13's definitely not great. Don't you dare.
No.
Don't you dare.
I have to go
I even
back to
played
13 at
13
some
and was
point.
like, no, I'm not.
I have
I'm
to go
not
back to
interested.
13 at some point.
You don't have
I don't know if
right?
it was just young
And-
me that. Yeah, I don't know if it was just young me that didn't fuck with it.
I can confirm it is not just young you. I did try and
When
go
did
back to it a
you-
few years back.
Okay,
And it's like, yeah,
Okay.
it's still rough.
Still there.
unfortunate.
Well, Remaster Pixel was on the 12th top paid for game in the US store. So good to know. Good to know. In the UK, it was at 20th. In Germany, it was I've got that wrong. UK 20th. In Germany, the 13th spot. So selling well, which honestly, we'll take it. We'll take Xbox fans. We always say it, right? Do we not always say it? When these games come, supporting them financially. You cannot be bitching like you do on Twitter, including us, about how these games don't come and then we never support them. Like, you have to support them.
Yeah, there was also a little bit of discourse over Metaphor having Xbox marketing and it possibly not doing well because it's a JRPG or whatever. I think this kind of like shuts up that conversation quite a bit. It's like JRPGs
Well, I mean, this
do
is a
just
very
fine.
old. These are old games as well. Like,
Yeah.
So
These
we'll
are
see.
like the epitome of old game is old because, you know, like we're talking 1990s, 1980s kind of titles. It's like, yeah. Still like the support that's coming out. And it's like, just go back to what you just said there, like Crash, is like, I'm pretty sure we're done with that, like, you know, Metaphor not doing well. Like, if like Atlas and Sega have been working with like Xbox for a while now, I think they're happy with their agreement.
Yeah.
They've got to
Yeah.
be, right? Like, they're putting like pretty much every Persona game on there. 3, 4, and 5.
Hey, they've got
Game Pass at one
data
point.
to show. They've got data to show that people are playing their games.
Yeah,
100%.
To play a little bit of devil's advocate, and I want to say that I agree with you, but to play a little bit of devil's advocate, you don't know how long the deals they had are lasting for. So this could be just sort of a continuance of the whatever the original deal was with Xbox.
Fair.
But I do agree with you. I'm 100% with you that I do think that the whatever deal they have seems to be working well for Sega and Atlas so far.
And Xbox, yeah.
And Xbox, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Xbox, let's talk some Halo. Halo Infinite is officially getting a third-person mode this November. I can't believe it, but I'm going to ask, since the panel isn't big on Halo, stop right there. I don't think we're not big on Halo. I think I'm not big on Halo. Fresh is a big Halo fan.
I wouldn't. I'm a Halo fan. I wouldn't say. I don't know if I'd use the
Bigger
word
than me. Bigger than me.
Yeah,
Bigger
I'm
than
a
me.
Halo
And
fan.
these
Matt's
ones are Halo
also
fan.
Matt's a big Halo fan.
Yeah.
But Matt's not here and he's dead. So like,
he died,
maybe
so,
your statement is correct.
Here's a question. Do we need to think about bringing somebody else in as a full when Matt's not here? Are we at that point?
No comment.
I would like to bring in a female.
Yeah.
I think a
100%.
female
Yeah.
perspective on this podcast would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, just
Femmes,
putting it
get
out
at
there.
us.
Putting it out there. I tell you what, at us with your favorite female influencer / podcaster that you think would do a great job on the podcast with us. Remember, our banter, our non-professionalism, things like that. Tag them on Twitter, on X, and at me. By the way, I'm calling it X now. I've decided to stop calling it Twitter. I lost the fight.
I'll
thought
still
they were
fight
right.
strong for you.
I thought they would revert it back, and they just were. I still call them tweets.
Yeah.
But I will now refer to it as X. I will. But yeah,
You're not calling them posts now.
no. Sorry, to go back. I can't believe I'm asking this. Since the panel isn't big on Halo, what are your opinions on the third-person mode coming? And is this enough for another Halo with the boys? Let's just start off there. Absolutely not.
You know what? If we do a Halo with the boys, we might have a chance to win in a third-person mode.
The only chance in us playing Halo again is during our 24-hour stream.
So if they get this out, well, we'll have it out by then. So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be out by then, yeah. And my opinion on this, it's fine. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look bad in any way, shape, or form. It's not what I want, you know?
You know, whenever they show off like third person mode for a Call of Duty game and people are like, oh my God, they go crazy over it because they have some sense of nostalgia for it. I feel about the same way for this, where it's like, I don't really like, cool for the people who like it, I guess. But it's not really something I'm super into for a game that's built for first person.
It doesn't look bad though. Like I will say that. Like it doesn't look out of place at all.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 100%
Everybody
the
else?
same. No, I'm the same. Like it without being the negative guy in the room, I try to be as positive as possible whenever I can be. But it does feel like too little too late.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
like, why, who asked for this? Why are we doing this? Feels like if it's genuinely fun to play, I mean, I'll jump in when it drops and check it out. But like, I don't ever see anyone clamoring for a third person Halo.
But in the same breath, do we ever see people clamoring for
First person
anything
Halo.
right now?
Yeah.
Like what could you say right now?
Also,
you've heard people talking anything about Halo other than Halo the
To be
Blitz?
fair, I don't think either of us are like super into the Halo community unless
No.
one of us is like sneakily snuck into there and has been in the conversations. So there might be like third person conversations going on for Halo. I have no clue what that community wants to talk about as far as the game goes.
This was announced during the 2024 Halo World Championships.
Yeah.
None of us watched it. None of us even knew it existed. Stop it. Crash might have.
Yeah.
Crash might have known it existed.
No,
I knew it existed.
No.
But
I knew it existed, but I didn't know when it happened. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I knew it was a thing.
Boys, it's Guess That Game time, but we didn't discuss whose turn it is.
Oh.
I've
I
totally.
think Despawn did it last, I think.
No, I haven't done it for a while. I do have a game in mind.
Then you take it this week. Please.
Okay. So you would like to know the rules of this game then, yeah? For everyone who
Please.
doesn't know it, Guess That Game is our weekly game show in the podcast where one of the members of the team here will choose a game and it is up to the rest of the team to decide what that game is through yes or no questions. You have 90 seconds, which I am going to bring up a timer on my phone, to ask those questions, and I will, to the best of my ability, answer truthfully and honestly. Fix.
That's me.
What are the scores currently?
The scores currently look like this. We got Christian a whopping 12 points with less than we got 3 months to go for the year. We have Matt, who honestly, I don't even know why he shows up. Oh wait, he doesn't. Currently on 4 points. Then we have yourself currently sitting on 8 points, and myself, I am currently sitting on 6 points.
Question for you, Fix. How many points differentiate you from Matt?
2. I'm here, and I've never missed a week. And I've never missed a week on this podcast.
Good to know.
Yeah. I appreciate you clarifying that for the audience.
Yeah, I just needed to clear the picture a little bit. I was a little confused. I just wanted to make sure.
Of course. No, totally understand. Totally.
You're going to clarify these things, make sure we're all on the same page and all that. Yeah, I get you.
Yep.
All right, ready when you are, Despawn.
Let me.
Who goes first?
Crash could go first.
Okay.
And I have my timer. There it is. I'm going to show it at an angle because I don't want you to see the reflection. Right. Timer starts in now.
360 game?
No.
Xbox One game.
No.
Series game?
No.
Original
Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Action adventure?
No.
EA.
Yes.
Third person?
No.
Sports title.
No.
First person?
Yes.
Shooting.
Yes.
Sci-fi?
Yes.
Multiplayer focused.
No.
RPG?
No.
Female protagonist.
No.
Male protagonist?
Yes.
Oh God, pass.
Do you think it'd be a franchise that I would like?
Maybe.
Have I played this? Have I played this franchise?
Maybe. I don't know. 10 seconds.
Is it a racing game?
No.
No, we know it's not. Jeez, I'm an idiot.
Time. I will let you both ask one more question.
Are you limited to 2 weapons in the game, or do you have like a weapon wheel in the game? If that question makes any sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Oh, my mind's gonna go blank on that. I think you can have various weapons.
Okay.
It's like it's Xbox original, so it's been a while since I've played it.
Yeah.
Developed by EA.
No.
Okay.
They fucking published it. Shit.
Yeah. You guys got any ideas?
Original X. Sorry, can we go through it?
Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
go through it? Can we go through it, please?
Yeah. Original Xbox.
Yeah.
First person shooter. Male
Sci-fi.
protagonist.
Yeah, we said Mal.
Yeah. But like I say, I'll clarify at the end why I'm a bit unsure about saying yes, but kind of yes.
This is some bullshit. I know what this is.
No, it's fine. What was that? Yeah, it's got sci-fi to it. What else did we ask?
And then various weapons, not
Yeah. So it's not just one
okay.
weapon. Yeah.
It has multiplayer.
It does have multiplayer, but I never think of the multiplayer as the main focus.
I have a game in mind, and I don't think it's EA, but I'm just gonna use it
Okay.
because I can't think of anything.
The only thing that's in my head is a game that there's no way that it's on here. Like,
Oh, yeah. This is the only game I can think of, and I don't even think this game came out during the Xbox One generation, or a variant of this game came out during the Xbox One generation.
Okay.
So I think I'm just very wrong with this.
Yeah, you are, because this game 100% came out on the Xbox OG version.
I've got 2 in my head.
Okay. Well, Crash,
Let me say the 2. Can I say the 2?
Well, let Crash do his, because
You
he's
have to
got
pick
one
one.
game. Yeah,
I'm gonna pick one, but I have 2 in my
Okay.
head.
That's fine.
Okay.
You pick the one you want to go with, and then tell us the other one after.
The only thing that I can think of right now is Duke Nukem, and I know it's not Duke Nukem. Yeah.
Does it? That's not a question. I should have said that question. Idiot.
Go on.
Is it gone?
No.
My other one was Worms.
No. First person. Worms isn't first person.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The game was Time Splitters.
Never would have got that.
Oh, shit. See, this is where this podcast messes me up. And I'll tell you why it messes me up the most, right? Because I was a PlayStation kid during that generation. So
Yeah.
I don't think of any of those games as original Xbox games. I think of them as PlayStation 2 games.
You should just think of the generation, though.
No, I know, but I get in my head and I
That's fair.
can't
fair.
get out of it. Because like the only games I played on the OG Xbox, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, for some reason, when that came to that, the Hulk, when that was a launch title, if I'm not mistaken, or around that time. What else did I play? Obviously Halo, at my uncle's house, and that's about it. Like, I had no point.
I never played Time Splitters. I don't even know. I know of the game. I don't know what the gameplay is like in that game at all.
It's first person. You play. So this is why I was like a bit iffy about saying it's a male protagonist, because storyline, you are a male protagonist, but you jump into other people's bodies, some of which are female.
And bro, I only played Time Splitters co-op as well,
Yeah.
which is like, it's not your fault.
No.
I don't hate you. I don't hate your answers.
I think that was a good game pick. I think we just ill-equipped for that.
So do you want to know the real life reason why I chose this game? Because it's been stuck in my head for a few weeks now. Is because you guys know that I do freelance work for Matt and Future Game Show. They recently did a video about hidden games within other games. And I didn't know until that I started editing that video that Time Splitters 2 in full is playable in Homefront: The Revolution.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
So you can play basically a 4K version of Time Splitters 2 in full. Granted, you have to play like 6 hours of Homefront: The Revolution, unfortunately. But yeah.
That's cool, actually. That's really dope.
That's really cool. So I am basically whenever I get like the odd moment, I'll do a mission or two in Homefront because I want to get to that because I just want to play Time Splitters. I love Time Splitters too.
Very interesting. Just remember, Crash, as well. I know you clans me on my points, which I respect. But remember, I don't get bonus points for blind ranking, which Big Willie P has sent us in more categories. So blind ranking, I'm going to give you a list of games. You have to blind rank them 1 through 5. And then there is a title, which I will give a point at my discretion as a bonus afterwards. Are you ready?
Yes.
Real quick, I feel like for blind ranking in the future,
Separate point system.
Separate point system, and whoever has the most at the end gets 1 point. Or I was also going to say that if Big Willie started putting them in the Discord, you can spoiler them, and we can choose who picks a category differently every week.
I like that. A whole
so it's not
category.
always.
I tell you what, keep it the same for the rest of the year. And if you're still listening to the podcast next year,
please listen.
That's what we'll do. And then everyone can do it. If they just spoil it, and then we can just take it a category at a time.
Yep.
We'll need to set up like how we want it to be laid out. That will be
we can figure that out, but for next year, I
mean, technically, we could all do it together. And we don't have to have one person. Have to have one person. Good. I like it. All right. Well, game number 1, Crash, is Dark Souls. Yeah, well, you know.
Wow.
Dark Souls. Dark Souls 1, or is it just Dark Souls?
I'm not at liberty to say that.
Okay.
It was quoted as Dark Souls, not Dark Souls 1. Yeah.
2 or 3.
I was going to middle of the road it, just like, because then I don't feel too bad. Rather than jumping all the way to 2 at the start.
But it's Dark Souls.
I know.
Lead answer.
I will do 3. I'll
it. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Just remember that I didn't struggle.
You just said so. No, that's fine.
I like the fact you said that. Remember that, Crash, because you're gonna want that right now. Battletoads.
Oh.
Look, I want to put it at 2. I want to really badly.
What, Battletoads?
Yeah. Battletoads is a fantastic franchise.
Yeah.
That I would have gladly put at 3, but you greedily took the 3rd spot with Dark Souls.
I didn't take it.
You greedily took the 3rd spot.
Roll back the tape. I don't think I was like, it has to be 3. It was very much a feeling, but all right. Yeah. I munched that 3 down so greedily.
Battletoads is 4, right? We're not putting it 5. Don't say 5.
No,
we're not putting it 5.
We're not putting it 5 at all. Yeah, the OG is great. The remake was good. 4. Okay.
Next up, The Lion King.
Oh,
2.
okay. Yeah, 2. I'm already getting a feeling of yeah.
I'll let you buzz in right now if you want to try and take the point early.
Do we not both get points if we answer the same thing?
No. One of you gets the point.
Beep, 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 beep.
Okay, wording specific. I'll let you both take the guess now.
Wording specific.
So I am at the discretion to give the point or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Crash. We haven't finished the ranking, but what do you think the category is? We're a podcast, Crash.
Difficult game franchises.
Most difficult game franchises.
Yeah.
You only got 1 word right in that sentence. No, thank you.
Okay.
Oh. Hardest games. I think it's just like top 5 hardest games.
Top 5 hardest games.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2 words. I'm not going to give it to you, unfortunately, because there was 1 word I was looking for.
Okay.
I guess I think it's 2 words actually, but
we'll
the category was
okay.
Save it towards the end.
All right, cool. Next game.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to go back through. You've got Lion King at 2, Dark Souls at 3, Battletoads at 4.
Okay.
Leaving your number 1 and number 5 slots open. Next one is Cuphead.
God, this is the problem. Like, Cuphead is hard.
Yeah.
But like, what would you class as harder than Cuphead?
Cuphead 5.
What?
With the only, like you say, it depends what the 5th option is. Yeah.
Fix those with the 5th option, maybe.
Yeah,
put it one.
Yeah, they put it one. Like,
Your decision, boys. Your decision.
I'll be honest. I think Cuphead is harder than Lion King. Definitely harder than Battletoads.
Cuphead's a lot harder than Lion King.
I mean, it was for me.
There's no way.
I completed
No way
Lion King as a
Cuphead's harder than
kid.
Lion King.
I have yet to complete Cuphead.
Yeah, but you played Cuphead when you were an old man.
In the same, I was going to say, your reactions are way worse now.
How dare you?
You probably also had like more of a mental handle on playing a hard game back then than when you played Cuphead.
And you had more time back then as well to foul and go over foul.
True.
Need to push for an answer though, boys. 501. 501.
I'm going to say 5.
Yeah, I'll let Crash take it. Go on, 5 then.
Last game, which will be your number 1. So at number 5, we have got Cuphead. At number 4, we have got Battletoads. At number 3, we have got Dark Souls. At number 2, we have got Lion King. And at number 1, we have got Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. I don't even know what that is. Anyone?
What is the category?
Yeah.
You were on the
Super Mario
money.
Bros. Lost Levels completely throws me off now.
Yeah,
You were on the money for the category hardest games of all time. I was looking for all time.
Okay,
My
I still
discretion.
think that's fine.
Levels?
Yeah.
I don't even know what Lost Levels is.
I think the game, it's technically difficult, but I think that game is just bad.
It's just it's
Okay.
Do you know
Also,
what,
I'll
Chris?
take it. Yeah, it's
It was
Willie's
your
list.
number 1, mate. It was your number 1. You want to
know why? It's very difficult to get through. So in a sense, it is a hard game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's number 1 on that list.
and I'm still not happy about winning the point when saying top 5 hardest games. Like, that kind of,
It's almost like
If you got it, my answer would have gotten it as well.
I was going to
well,
say, it's almost like it's up to my discretion. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of it before we do that. Let's do Fix a Sack. Remember, you can email my Xbox and me podcast at gmail.com, or hit us up in the Discord like most of these people did, or hit us up on Twitter or in the YouTube comments. First question, do you think increasing game prices to £100, let's ignore GTA 6 as the outlier, will backfire? I already, I don't know what that word means. Seldom, is that a word?
Seldom, yeah. I mean,
what's that mean?
Rarely.
Okay, instead, let's have a conversation. Just me and you on the podcast right now. Don't be using words like seldom, like I know what that bloody means. You know I'm not well educated, and I'm dyslexic at the best of times. So how dare you?
Instead,
Naoki.
I think you did fix a favor by using the word seldom. He had to learn a new word today.
He learned a new word today.
What is this?
When
word of the
Haley
day?
gets home, he can have a conversation with Haley, and he can be like, "I learned a new word because of Stead."
Yeah.
And it can be like Haley's having a conversation with one of her students.
Yeah.
She can act like she lives with someone who's actually smart.
Like,
I already seldom buy games on day one, partially because of the cost and partially because they are so often end up buggy. Take Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Because of the way they split versions and made the New Game Plus a paid extra, I decided not to buy the game until it went on sale and the deluxe version cost what the base normal cost from Stead. The question mainly here is, do you think increasing game prices to £100 will backfire if and when it eventually happens? Fresh?
For a lot of games, yes. I think for a lot of games, the $100 price tag, the ones that try and come out and do it, aren't going to find the worth in it because people will be more critical of a game. People are already critical of they don't want to spend X amount of money on a 10-hour game, even if that experience is worth like $30 or whatever the case is, right? Mm-hmm. And so looking at a $100 game, pricing from companies isn't always great. And I feel like the ones that will go for the $100 price tag are just like, we sell X amount of copies and we make however much money at 70. They'll look at it and like, we can get 30 more bucks per customer just by increasing the price, even if you're not necessarily increasing the value. And it's, the gamer will only view it as worth whatever the original price was. So yeah, I think it'll end up backfiring for a lot of companies that try and do this.
Baseball?
Agreed. Yeah, I think you've got to look at the actual market. Like, just like money is tight for everyone everywhere, and it's like, for all jokes aside, like I say all jokes aside a lot, and I don't know why, but we had the conversation about like, yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, but it is very much like, at the end of the day, video games are an entertainment market, and it's like there's going to be a diminishing returns for how much people think entertainment is worth. And yeah, there's going to be a point where wholesale people are going to start rejecting the price increases. And yeah, maybe that means they'll play more indie games and everyone will be happier in life, and you know.
Indie games will start costing $60.
That will never happen.
Yeah, no. Yes, indie games will start going up as well. But no, yeah, there's going to be a point where people will just reject that kind of price point. Like, but it is that nickel and diming. Like, we've seen it. The way that the industry has gone over the last 10, 20 years, it's very much a case of 50 games, then 60 games, then 60 games with a premium edition early access, then a battle pass on top of the $60, $70. It's like, at the end of the day, like, games are like now, like, more often than not for a AAA game, it is $70 and a battle pass and expansions. So you're paying
Depends
about
on the game.
but yeah, depending on the games. But yeah, like there are a lot of games that don't do that, but like more often than not, it's becoming the norm with a lot of titles where it is very much you will end up paying £100 anyway.
I think putting an expansion into like the whole mix of the price point for a game is a bit unfair.
I disagree. I agree with Despawn on this. It's a case of their marketing. Their marketing is based around getting $100 out of you. It doesn't
like
matter
the ultimate
how they
decision
get
or whatever the case is.
Yeah,
got it. Okay,
like, they will market something. It's literally, I paid £100 for EAFC, right? Because it was a week early, and I've got these Ultimate Team points that I've already spent, and I don't even play Ultimate Team mode. Like, there was no reason for me to do that, but the marketing behind it got me to do that. So I'm kind of in Despawn's camp of this, where it's like, I get what you're saying, like the expansion, like an expansion is totally different to like a battle pass and things like that. Mm. But yeah, I'm with Despawn. Ultimately, their goal is to get $100 out of you. Yeah. Whether that's with an expansion or whatever, however they go about it, that's what they're aiming for.
The goal is £100 out of you, yeah. And yeah. And when I think about it, and I'm guilty of paying the money for it myself. Like we know, like we've seen the Starfield watch, but I have paid for I paid for Diablo 4 early access because it was the hype thing at the time when it was launching. Like I need to get on day one, and it's like I've been duped by it. And yeah, like I definitely get £100 worth of game time out of that game. I don't think I ever finished the story.
Did you get duped? Did you get duped by it? Or did you
fall into the hype?
Yeah, I didn't. I just fell into the hype.
I don't know if you got duped. I don't know if you got duped. I'll be honest.
But that's But yeah. No,
duped is like what's the game you fell in love with Fix that they're bringing back?
Yeah, Day Before.
They're not bringing it back. They're making a whole new game.
Yeah,
my bad.
I wish I was here because I didn't see the full episode. Did you guys talk about that last week?
No, we didn't.
Oh, can we just have a conversation about that after the podcast? Because that
No, I'm going to make dinner afterwards. I don't even want to talk about
dinner. Yeah, moving on.
I don't want to talk about that. Yes, I agree with you. I do think ultimately, if you're not up to snuff, you're not a Cyberpunk. You're not a CD Projekt Red outside of Cyberpunk's launch, but the caliber of game, you're not a GTA. I know you said you can't mention GTA, but if you're not of that caliber of game,
COD.
Assassin's Creed with all the polish in the world, I would say for me a Valhalla, or even what was before Valhalla? Odyssey. Those two games, they're I'm talking. You need more polish. I'm talking. We need more. We need more. Out
they had
of
the
it.
groundwork for it.
It has all the groundwork there for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're not on that ilk of a game, you can't be trying to for a standard edition. You cannot be trying to Infinite Wealth. I'd pay 100. I didn't. I got the code given to us. Thank you. But Infinite Wealth, now understanding that franchise, I'd pay £100 for it every day of the week. It does everything that I love about those type of games. It has mini games. It has meaningful stories. It's side content. It gives you more than you need. There's stuff in that game I've not even touched because it didn't interest me. But that's the game giving more, you know?
Yeah, we talked about it when I did my review. I hit almost 100 hours and didn't do everything. So it's like if you're talking about, you know, cost benefits, like that's £1 an hour. I got £1 an hour's worth out of that game. That for me is a good investment. But then but on the flip side of that, when it's like, here's a 10-hour single player campaign and a DLC that'll come 6 months down the line and a battle pass to go on top of it, like,
yeah. I think Like a Dragon's kind of an interesting one because I think if you're a long time player of the franchise, I don't know if you necessarily agree with your statement. Because a lot of the mini games and a lot of the stuff carry over from game to game, right? They reuse a lot of that stuff.
Sure.
So I don't know if somebody who's played a lot of them, I'd love to hear from that because I don't. I'd imagine the view would be a little bit different, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because like I'm going to be playing the next one for sure. Like, you know, Like a Dragon as a pirate, I'm in.
Yeah.
And I do want to go back and do the original Like a Dragon, and maybe even go back to even further and just do the entire series at some point. No. You ain't
got time for that.
I ain't got time.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. You ain't got time.
He also wants to replay all the Final Fantasy.
I know.
You ain't got time. You ain't got time, bro.
Maybe I just become the RPG guy. That's all I'll do for the rest of my life. I'm the RPG guy on the podcast. Yeah.
Matt did that this year. He couldn't even beat Final Fantasy. Come on, get out of here. But no, I think ultimately, no. Stead, I agree with you. I think they are going to end up souring people on their games and alienating their audience because they're not gonna understand the value of £100.
Well,
you know?
I think it's the reason why there's the big push for subscriptions instead. It's just like, why?
That's fouled.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like you can't. Like, name me a game company that it has paid off for subscriptions. Without knowing the numbers, I couldn't.
But like, other than Game Pass and like, other than like Xbox Live Gold, PSN, like those services, nothing else has been successful like that.
Yeah, EA
like
Play,
Ubisoft Plus, EA Play, even Rockstar Plus. Like, I bet you, like, I'm not, again, very different, but I bet you any money that's not bringing in, like, ridiculous. It's bringing in enough to obviously warrant them doing it, but not enough to, like, you know, throw the kitchen sink in. Like, you can only get GTA 6 in Rockstar Plus. Like, no. Yeah, so... well, this one we'll answer real quickly. Anubis says, happy Halloween month. I'm going to ask the obvious. Do we have a favorite spooky game to play each October? Crash, you're a Halloween guy? You're not really a holiday guy, are you?
Not really a holiday guy. Halloween is my favorite holiday, though. If I were to, like, if you put a label of a favorite, right? If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it.
I don't know if I'm not super into spooky games. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be like Resident Evil 2, because that's like probably my favorite spooky game that I've played. But other than that, like, spooky games aren't really my thing.
Are we doing a spooky game this month? We're going to set up a stream, but I'm trying to think what we could do.
We could do like a Lethal Company or something like that. That's had some updates.
What was the other one?
I kind of want
recording one.
Codes for I want to do Outlast Trials. I feel like Outlast Trials would be so much fun, but it's not on Game Pass, and I feel like it's one of those games that we're going to buy and play once and then be like, all right, well, that's done. That's pointless. I don't see the point in that. So we'll figure it out. But I do think we should do a spooky game.
Yeah, we can.
I think, as you said, like leaning into things like Lethal Company, like things like Phasmophobia, playing those with people is always fun around this time.
I've still not played that either.
Have you not?
No.
I haven't either. We could do that.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Matt, see if he's into it. My go-to game, though, I'll be honest, people probably expect me to say Resident Evil. It's not actually Resident Evil. Because I played those games so much, I don't find them scary. I actually prefer playing Until Dawn right now on PlayStation 5. I actually prefer those type of games at this point, like an Until Dawn or Man of Medan or that whole series. Like those type of games are way more Not interesting, but spookier. I still get jump scared. Like I'm playing Until Dawn, right? I've already played it, but I played it so many years ago that like I'm still getting jump scared while playing it.
Mm-hmm. It's the spooky movie version of a game, right?
Yeah.
It's like
exactly.
Sit down with like you don't have to like you're not playing super hard. It's like it's more of a casual like spooky experience.
Yeah. Interactive film, it feels like. I know it's not, it's a game, it definitely is.
It's a horror movie with quick time events. Yeah, we love it.
Exactly.
So that'll be my go-to, those style of games, if that answers the question.
Yeah. I mean, I know what my go-to will be this month. Silent Hill 2.
Reviews have come out, 87 on Metacritic, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very, very good. I guess, me and you will have a good conversation about that. Never played the original. Never played the original Silent Hill 1, 2, any Silent Hill. Never played them. Okay. So interested to see what Team Blooper have got up their sleeve. It is reviewing very, very well. Mm-hmm. The thing I am seeing in a lot of videos, though, is the combat fun. And that is obviously always been Team Blooper's Achilles heel for me. They have not done combat properly yet. So I'm interested to see how this is.
Yeah, I'm very interested. From what I've seen, looks good. Previews seem, when I saw like a lot of the previews, seem really good. Again, working with Games Radar, hashtag not sponsored, but hashtag they pay my wage. But yeah, no, they did like a 6-hour preview, and there's some good shots from that of like the gameplay. It looks very Resi remake. So yeah, I'm interested to give it a go.
Fair enough. Last question from Snidge. Have I said this? I've said this wrong before.
I think it's Snidge.
Snidge, yeah. I think so. Found it interesting when Crest said that Ubisoft games are good, but not great. Do you think the fact that they now have a subscription service, that they don't allow themselves the time to make critically acclaimed games like they used to make, would it be hard to release regular content to keep people subscribed? Fresh, start with you, mate.
Assassin's Creed is their content to keep people subscribed. The amount of content, the DLC they put out for those games, that's really the big pushing point. I think we mentioned it earlier that it's more of from my perspective, it's more of a board thing with the reason they can't put out critically acclaimed games is those take time to bake. They take time to plan, test, all that stuff. And generally what it feels like is that the board wants more games to come out so they get a bigger profit. And that seems like the issue. I don't think it's a subscription service issue because Ubisoft doesn't have the same problem Xbox does with the subscription service, where that is the main focal point of Xbox's console. With Ubisoft, the subscription service feels like a side option, right? It's like, oh, you like a lot of our games. Here's this option for you to support us throughout the whole year. You'll get access to DLC and all that stuff. And they have a guaranteed customer. They have guaranteed whatever, and you have guaranteed access to your game. It's mutually beneficial. So I don't think that's really an option from my perspective that they face, or like a problem they face with their subscription service.
Yeah, I think for me, UB Plus is not a service to serve you. It's weird. It is a service to serve you content, but it's not in a way. Like it's a case of like, hey, you like this thing, get more out of this thing by using our service. You know, with not only, again, I'm going to sound like a corporate apologist here, and I'm not. But I have come round on the idea that they've updated GB Connect a lot lately, and the UI is way better. I really do like Ubisoft Connect now. I like the fact they have their own achievement system in terms of the challenge points. I like the free stuff you can earn, whether it just be a little charm, all those little things that I'm sure most people are rolling their eyes right now, being like, yeah, okay, you get paid, mate. And again, they don't pay me to say any of this. But I like that. It's the same thing with Steam and like playing cards, like the trading cards.
Yeah.
I like it when games are gamified outside of the game.
One of my favorite things for probably since like Assassin's Creed 2 with Ubisoft and Uplay is the ability to go and buy like other skins and stuff from other franchises for the game. Yeah. And so I think I kind of agree with what you're saying there as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. I will, like, you put an Ezio skin in any of the Ubisoft game through Uplay, I'm picking it up. Like I will play a game that I don't like just to earn those challenge points to get an Ezio skin in a game.
Which is their plan, right? That's what they want. That's what they want. They want to encourage you to check out a Riders Republic or whatever game that's probably not in your wheelhouse, but it's like, maybe we can get them in that way. I don't think they always increment in the best ways, and I do think they could put a lot more effort into it. But again, it's probably a net thing, right? It's like we're not going to put too much into this because not that many people are probably doing it, but still kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's for Ubisoft Plus specifically, it very much feels like it's just an optional extra that's not really their focus. It's very much like the games are their big selling point. But if you want to give us some money every month to get access to all the back catalogue of all our games, and you get that early access for the next one that's coming up, it feels like they understand the benefits of things like Game Pass and like getting a subscription, and then there will be people that forget and keep paying for it. But yeah, I don't think it's the key reason why, like you say, like the good not great. I think there's something else internally going on, and like you say, it's shareholder requirements and things like that. Like there is a need to get games out at a certain point for shareholders more than Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah, agreed. Let's plug and get ourselves out of here. We've got a lengthy podcast here. Despawn, we got to plug this week, my dude.
I'm going to plug our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/my Xbox and me. I want to do more streams again. I enjoyed the Shattered Space. It was good. I don't know how regularly we'll do them, but they'll definitely, whenever there's a good reason to do them, we will be there for sure. Come check us out. And now it's really easy to get to partner, so come get us that partner push.
Weird. We do need to have a conversation about that.
Oh, okay.
I do think potentially we now, with raids being in the whole partner, there could be a potential like, hey, let's start. We should talk offline. We'll talk when we're not doing a podcast. Chris, what have you got to plug this week? Yeah, come raid us. Exactly.
My Xbox Me YouTube page. Subscribe. Turn the notifications on, leave comments, ask questions in the video. Don't listen to anybody that would tell you not to ask questions because they would be incorrect.
Did you catch this last week, Despawn?
No. What a mess. You tell everyone not to ask us questions.
This idiot went on these little, we get to these soapbox, like, I don't even check the comments on the YouTube video. I'm like, bro, we need engagement. Like, we need comments. He's like,
look,
okay.
It came out of my mouth and I couldn't take it back.
Well,
and I have to double down.
Yeah, I will tell you on like at least 2-3 times a week. I check the comment sections to see if you have anything.
I check.
Yeah,
I do too.
I always check.
Yeah. And then I ban all the mean people because you're all rude.
I don't ban anyone. I don't ban anyone. I wait for Crush to get angry about it, tell me about it, then I ban you.
There you go.
Because Crush I feel like Crush is a good barometer. Mm-hmm. Like, Chris can usually take enough and he responds, but like he'll come and be like, "You gotta go."
Yeah,
it's gotta go.
My vibe from Crush is very much he doesn't care until he cares.
He cares,
and then he cares.
Great.
Yeah, that's accurate.
What have I got to plug? My Twitch channel, twitch.tv/mcfixer. I'm live 5 days a week at the moment. Obviously, you catch me on Ubisoft when I'm there, and then otherwise, I'm probably playing some video games over on my channel. So come and check me out. Playing Until Dawn right now, where the community picks every decision. So I'm pretty much just sat back chilling and reacting at this point, which is really fun. Really, really fun. I really wish they would have implemented a streamer mode in that game, but it is what it is.
Do they have a streamer mode in one of their games? Or am I thinking of a different franchise?
I think something had a streamer mode. Else. Not that. I don't think it's ever been Supermassive's MO. But there was a game similar ilk that had it, and I used it, and I enjoyed it. So every game should add it just for me. Thank you. Until next time, we'll love you, leave you, see you later. Good boys.